Signs that you quantum jump to a higher timeline. Today on Earth 1111. Hey, it's Roxanne. This is Earth 1111. Thanks for tuning in. Sorry, I've been gone for a couple weeks. I needed to integrate so many energies. But I had a lot of people that were concerned that they missed this huge eclipse portal. Now they're stuck in 3D, right? But that's not how it is. What happens is when a portal opens up, new energy is integrated into the field, into the grids of the earth and your physical body, because your physical body is literally of the earth. That really just means it's the first time that that energy is going to be active now for everyone to be able to merge with, to activate, to use. So never be worried that you missed out. When I have these portal videos, it just means that that's the first time that the energy is coming in. And you can use it at any time based on your timeline. You might integrate them in a week, in a month, in a year. They're always here now, orbiting in the field for you to activate in the future. Portal anchoring. That's what rainbow means. Portal anchoring. Okay, let's get into signs that you jumped timelines to a higher dimension. So, first of all, what is a timeline versus a dimension? And I have lots of people asking me, of course, well, time doesn't exist. So what's a timeline? As soon as we leave that 0 point where source, creator energy is, we separate, we now create time. Because we create a spiral which really gives us a progression of time, right? So this allows us to experience ourselves. Because you are God, you are the creator, you're everything. So timelines are where you are coming from in the time-space continuum, really the spiral of creation. But really it's an energy that is you. So when we are existing in a certain timeline, it means we are in a certain place. We are literally taking up space in certain grids and force fields of energy, because dimensions are actually morphogenetic fields, a torus field of pure energy, moving in sacred geometrical shapes. Again, I have a whole video coming up next, all about your hidden reality, the 12 dimensions, and the pineal gland, kundalini, the quantum field, and so much more. So make sure you subscribe, hit the bell if you haven't already. And right after that, I'll be talking about aliens, the truth you haven't heard before. So make sure you, again, subscribe so you don't miss out. Okay, now let's get back into the video. What are signs that you quantum jumped? Because really, when we are quantum jumping a timeline, it really means we are expanding into a higher dimension. So we have activated a new energy field. And a timeline collapse really is you've expanded so much into so many fields of new dimensions that you have to have a timeline collapse, which is really the timelines furthest from you. Because again, dimensions, even though they become bigger and bigger torus fields sitting inside one another, we are actually always going in. So these dimensions are actually accessed by you going deeper within yourself, and eventually you create this implosion and simultaneous explosion of your consciousness, allowing you to move upwards in the chakras, which allows you to have access, the doorway into these dimensions. So again, that'll be on the next video, which I'll talk more about that. Now, the signs that you have activated a new timeline really means you've activated a whole new dimension or energy bandwidth. Literally, you are coming from a different time and space area in the quantum field. So that's how big this is. So even if you don't feel that you've done anything, right, in the past 2 weeks, I have quite a few people worried that they don't feel that they are moving to 5D. And again, I have a whole video about that. But for this video, just realize that you did shift timelines. Now, there's so many different signs. Let's get into them. So let's start out. For the people that are feeling that they did not jump into a higher timeline, if you are feeling terrible or emotional, if you are having a lot of things come up, you just feel that you are at rock bottom, guess what? that means you did jump timelines. What happens is all the stuff that's in the way now of you moving on to the next level, all those parts of yourself, right? We can call this the ego, we can call these traumas, wounded aspects. They don't want you to move on because they're used to this same old pattern, the same old loop. That's all they know, right? They're separated from the light, literally separation consciousness. The light is always inside you in the center. When you're separated, you believe that you are a separate individual. And again, I'll talk about this in the next video. But when we reach a new level, we can feel all the terrible stuff because all these parts of yourself that don't want to move on, that don't want to see you succeed, right? Every time that someone told you that in your past, in your childhood, in past lives, all these things we went through that made us feel that we don't deserve something better. And that, you know, all these people that told us we were stupid, or that money doesn't grow on trees, or right, everything is a program in you, whether you realize it at the time or not. Every layer builds a story, right? It becomes your identity. And when we jump timelines, when we move up dimensions, we lose our sense of identity. So, of course, right, we can also feel like a stranger, like all of a sudden, everything's different. We don't know what's going on. We feel like there's a presence here and it freaks us out, right? And you can feel like your entire life up until this point has been wasted. It's completely unaligned, and you feel like you've wasted all these years, decades, all this money, all this education or anything, all this time in a relationship that didn't pan out, whatever it is. You feel like you're at a level now where your old life just does not feel aligned anymore. And that's another sign, right? We feel like a stranger in our life where all of a sudden the blinders are gone, right? We have literally moved to a higher consciousness level, a higher dimension, a higher timeline, right? All the same really words for the same thing. But when we come from this more expansive place, we are literally seeing reality from multiple perspectives now. We're no longer just seeing and experiencing our reality in the same way that we always have. We are now able to see a greater picture, and we can see how small of a life we lived, right? How robotic and patterned it was. We just did the same old routines every single day. Right? We put up with not being happy just because it was comfortable, because we created it for so long. Just kept going through the motions, right? And all of this is signs that you jump timelines. So if your life is imploding right now, that's also a sign of a timeline collapse, which really means that you've raised your vibration so much. And again, you have to raise your vibration to move upwards in these consciousness dimensions, right? We have to literally get our vibration up. So again, I'll talk about that later on. But the fact that you got your vibration up so much and you are moving, literally growing so much as a soul, guess what? Everything now that is so unaligned out there in the world, that collapses. And that's called a timeline collapse. And it happens literally because you move upwards so much, you start integrating into one massive field, right? These are, again, the grids, dimensions, timelines. We start integrating into a flow, right? We start perfecting our field by aligning all aspects of ourself, multiple aspects, instead of our heart being separate from our mind, you know, and you know, we take care of our body, but we don't care about our mind, whatever it is. The timeline collapse happens because you have aligned so many aspects of your life or yourself. All these realms of yourself are in alignment, moving you forward into a more aligned life, that everything that's not aligned just drops off, right? So a timeline collapse can happen instantly, in the moment, quantumly. All of a sudden, nothing works. All of a sudden, your relationship's over now. All of a sudden, your job, in one moment, it's gone. Or your career, or your business, right? And again, it could be coming internally from you. You change, and you're just like, enough is enough, I'm done. Or it could be from the external world, right? Those are all signs of a timeline collapse, like I said, which is it's permanently gone from that grid. So all these structures in your life and all the parts of yourself that were in that grid, in those low vibrations, unaligned to self, right? Again, all those parts of yourself that are not aligned are out here, furthest from the truth. So they're the ones that drop away. So if your life is imploding, congratulations, you're moving up. So it's not all bad too, right? And again, I talked about lots of the bad stuff. Oh, and one more thing, let's talk about ascension symptoms. That's a huge one. As your vibration goes up, you literally are spinning faster, which means all the crud starts coming out into the blood and into the system. Your body has to really purge a lot, and so you go through massive cleansing crisis moments for, hours, days, weeks, months even, right? If something isn't being taken care of. So you really need to take care of yourself right now, because your body is going through so much. It's literally upgrading it into pure light. It's changing itself at the atomic structure and the DNA. You don't have to believe me, you're going to be experiencing this, because when your DNA literally changes, when you change based on your vibration, right? You're happy versus sad. You're blissful versus pissed off. All of those are different grids. So you choose in every moment where you want to exist. So in the moment you can change like that. So again, we are going up and down timelines instantly in every moment all the time. But when I talk about a timeline jump, what I really mean is you have jumped to a new level that you haven't had before. So again, so instead of being, okay, I'm kind of happy and then I'm pissed off and I'm happy and then, okay, I'm depressed and I'm happy and this and that. Well, that's kind of you being in the same system, right? You're moving around in your same grid. Again, typically between the first, second, and third chakras, right? All these lower aspects of self. When I talk about a timeline jump, I mean you have entered a brand new grid, a brand new timeline, a new dimension. So a new aspect of yourself, and again, everything is you, the whole universe. So you have literally activated a new part of yourself that's been separated. A new dimensional part of yourself, possibly as well, right? So that's why ascension symptoms really happen, because we are literally moving to new levels of consciousness, literally the physics. Now, let's get on to the fun stuff, because all I've talked about so far was the horrible stuff that happens when we quantum jump timelines. But there's lots of fun stuff. Literally, you are coming from a higher timeline, a higher dimension. You are literally becoming a galactic being, an angel, a power animal, an elemental, right? You are merging with all aspects of yourself right in here in this moment. You are now integrating that, pulling that down into the physical body, recoding the physical body to then have that experience as that new part of yourself. Because when we talk about timelines, dimensions, all these things, these aren't just theoretical, oh, okay, cool. You are going to be experiencing life differently, a whole new reality. You are starting to become more quantum wave-like, more particle-light, and less physical. So you will literally get layer upon layer upon layer of different realities. And you will start feeling that connection with everything around you, with this rock, with the bird, with the sky, with the elements, with everyone. So it's that connection, because you literally connect back up with yourself, all the way up to God, Source, Creator. That's how important it is for you to realize that you are doing it already. And that happens when we reach those higher dimensions. Things get weird, because we literally are becoming the quantum grid. So you will start experiencing or seeing things like geometry, vortexes. You will feel yourself spinning, especially when we reach the 8th dimension, which really is the beginning of hitting that 0 point, the great void. It's like a black hole energy, where you are then now starting to embody everything. You are becoming God, Source, Creator from within. And this is embodiment, which again, long process, which I'll talk about over many videos. But things get really weird then, right? Now you start having these DMT trips. You feel yourself breathing. You can feel like there's no gravity, like you're floating, like you're in this in-between state. Like I said, things will never be the same after you reach 0 point especially. Because again, you start being more wave-like and quantum energy-like, and you start becoming quantum, which means you're coming from literally the 0 point of every single particle of your body. Every atom, you'll reach the 0 point of that atom, so you start becoming quantum on every level. When we integrate a new energy as well, we can really feel disorientated, where we don't know where we're coming from. We feel lost. So again, like, not just lost in your own life, but you can literally feel like you have no idea who you are. Who's Roxanne? I'm not even her anymore. You can even look yourself in the mirror and you can see your face shape-shifting into different, aliens and animals, and all of a sudden you're a girl, and all of a sudden you're a guy, and then you're some alien being. It gets weird. Because again, you have integrated one of your aspects, or at least activated, right? So when we activate, it becomes a brand new part of ourselves. So we can start then channeling that part of ourselves, or being all of a sudden different. So you might be feeling like you are a completely different person, and like you have totally this random brand new interest that this brand new passion you never had before, right? You always thought of yourself as being this linear person. These are my passions, this is my strengths, but you aren't at all. You're a quantum field of energy. You are actually everything. So when we integrate these new parts of ourselves, we will feel strange, and there'll be all these abilities coming out, right? All these new psychic abilities or gifts or insights, or all of a sudden we feel like we want to paint. We've never picked up a brush in our life. We want to create music. We want to dance around. You might be feeling anything. So whatever you're feeling, totally normal. If you're feeling like you are lost, you're feeling so weird, totally normal. So go with it, right? When you feel these impulses to do something new, to create, or to start a project, or anything, go with it, because this is a new part of you. It will feel like a stranger at the beginning. And again, right, you can totally feel like there's some presence here and it's an entity. It's not. Remember, it's always you. And if you feel scared, that fear, you're just feeling the fear of that part of yourself that's really the trauma that you've activated, because a trauma can be activated. The separation, literally, that separates you from yourself, from this new part. So in this area here lies a lot of emotions. This is literally the trauma keeping you from being unified with all aspects of the universe, because everything is you. So you might be feeling that, where you just feel this dark presence over you, or you just can't stop crying, right? You were just going off the deep end. You feel like you're going crazy, like you have become a crazy person, like you're having a psychotic break. Again, if that's happening, ground. You need to ground the energies into the ground. And also what grounding does too, is it actually aligns you and pulls you down. So all your energy that's just flip-flopping around, it can really pull you in and align a lot of that field. So that's how important grounding is, and deep breathing. And that excitement, that bliss can also happen, right? You want that bliss to happen. You can be feeling euphoric. You can be feeling just that you just want to do everything. You love everybody, right? You just want to live your fullest life. You're dreaming big. All of that is amazing. You should be dreaming the biggest you can, right? And again, if there's a darkness, if there's a dark heaviness, it just means that something in you is purging out. A lot of people talk about, entities and the darkness and all that kind of thing. I have other videos on that as well, so watch those if you're feeling that, because there's different perspectives, right? There's the 4D perspective, that these are these reptilians and these lizard people, and the Anunnaki and all this different stuff, right? And all these archons and dark beings preying upon humanity. Which, yeah, when you're in 4D, separation consciousness, when you're in the bubble, there is all the bad stuff, because you haven't merged with everything yet. So things are still separate from you. So the bad stuff, you're the victim to, right? You're the small victim to the bad perpetrator. That's not true at all. So again, it's all about perspective. And that is key as well. You will literally change your perspective. You will feel like you are now operating smarter than you've ever been before. You are now a genius. And you can activate these parts of yourself and all of a sudden have these intuitions and insights, and you just know everything. You have a feeling, right? It's a feeling. Or you have that knowingness. So all of these abilities, totally normal. And as you integrate more and more and more of your quantum field, every layer, you will literally know everything. Because you start becoming the entire quantum field, you can feel truth from a lie. You can feel everything. So you're never a victim. So never feel that, oh my God, you know, I'm not going somewhere, I'm stuck in this 3D world, because you're not a victim. You're on the spiral, healing yourself, which is Ascension. We merge back every part of ourselves and we become everything. God, source, creator. Then you literally become superhuman, because you start embodying all that light. Massive frequencies. You can't even believe and imagine how high frequencies these are. Every time that we activate a layer, and then we heal what comes up, right? Because all that's the process now. All the stuff that's stopping you from moving forward, or all the gunk, all the blockages, the toxins, the limiting belief patterns, all of this has to go. So it starts coming up in your life everywhere. And that's all normal too, right? If everyone starts being completely psycho out there and you feel like, what is going on? Again, you just activated those grids and you're healing them. And you're integrating. And when you reach the 0 point, you can now move up to the next layer. And then you got to heal all that. And then you start becoming the oversoul. Now you're beyond your soul. And now you have to start healing all the grids for everyone, the entire unified field, which is all fun. But you become service to humanity. So every time that you access a layer, you get more knowingness, more power, more ability to create change in your life and in the world. You literally become this torus field. And you might feel yourself spinning. You might feel that spinning field. You might feel literally electricity shooting out your hands or coming out your feet, or you might feel your crown opening up. You will literally feel electrical. So again, that's all part of the process. And if you're just starting your journey, well, of course it's not going to be like that at the beginning, because it's all layers that we have to remove, these limitations and this density that's literally keeping us in a limited 3D existence. And of course, your outside world can change instantly as well. Because when you change yourself inside, the moment you do, your life shape shifts in the outside world. You're quantum. Wherever you're coming from, literally what grid you're existing in gives you that grid in the outside world. So we shape shift every moment. So all of a sudden you can be having something work out perfectly you've been trying to create forever. Or you meet this person out of the blue. Or something comes about that is miraculous, right? Synchronicity, lots of synchronicities, that also happens. Seeing numbers like 1111, 222. Or everything, right? Everything in the outside world is showing you what's going on internally in every moment. So the outside world is a holographic reality. So make sure you take care of yourself right now, because your body is doing so much. Really love yourself so much. Take care of yourself. Drink water. You know, go for a few day fast if you have to. If you're feeling like you just can't catch up with the energies. Lots of stretching, yoga, deep breathing, being in nature, #1 to reset yourself. Right? All these things. So make sure you really take care of yourself, because Ascension symptoms can really be overwhelming. And again, I have lots of videos on that to help you out if you're feeling a lot of stuff. So we can look out and we can see the whole world is blowing up. But it's happening. It's happening literally layer by layer. So we don't have to focus on it. We don't have to worry about it. We just need to worry about ourselves. We're all in different timelines, and we can integrate these energies whenever we're ready. So if you're feeling that you are, in a black hole, you're hitting rock bottom, that's where you need to be right now. But if you're ignoring your intuition, right? If you're ignoring signs, well, you're gonna continue to experience that separation, that trauma, that thing triggering, because you're ignoring it. You decided not to look at it. So again, we need to be following and flowing, right? Versus working against what's happening right now. Because everyone is in their own timelines, And we're all moving perfectly up the spiral of ascension. So just allow yourself to be. Less action, more being right now. We're still in Mercury retrograde, which really also means a lot of confusion, a lot of just feeling like we're going in circles. So again, we are moving forward. We just had the total solar eclipse there yesterday, the day before. Now that's a new moon, and it means new beginnings and a whole new cycle for the next 6 months or a year. But we need to work slowly. So just go with the flow. When things come up, allow yourself to heal them. So there are lots more signs that you jump timelines, right? We are quantum, so everyone's different. We're all on our own journey. So you got this. I'll be talking, like I said, tomorrow about your hidden reality, the 12 dimensions, the pineal gland, more about the quantum field, kundalini, all these things. So make sure you subscribe, hit the bell, share the video, please, with everyone you know. Don't forget to like, comment, and hit the bell. Did I say that? I'm Roxanne, EARTH1111. We'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.